You ever hear the rule of threes? I've heard it so many different ways, and I've just heard some new variations of it recently, which I thought were pretty cool. I guess they just kind of extended the rule of threes. But if you're new to survival or bushcraft or camping or hiking or backpacking outdoors and all that type of stuff, the rule of threes is pretty interesting, and it's a good format, a good way to help you organize and prioritize which should be your most important priorities should you find yourself in a, God forbid, scary situation where you have just a little bit of stuff with you, and how you're going to survive the encounter. Whether it's getting stuck on the side of the road, or camping trip, backpacking trip, hunting trip, something like that goes a little bit awry, and you got to spend some time out overnight and weather the elements and survive the encounter. The rule of threes will help you kind of map out which things to do first. What's up, warriors? This is Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you found your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button, and YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, so you can get all sorts of cool content from here as well. Today's video is about the rule of threes, when it comes to survival anyway. So there's a 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, etc. And they're all guidelines. There are exceptions to each one of the rules, but they're pretty much guidelines to help you kind of remember and be able to prioritize in whatever the survival scenario may be. So Texas, like down in Texas, it's always hot, and this past winter they got hit with a blizzard. Now talk about being unprepared. Now how do you expect people down there to prepare for something like that when it never ever happens? Until it did. So when it comes to the rule of threes, the first one is you can survive up to 3 seconds without hope. The moment you start to think like, woe is me, this is how it ends, I'm done, I'm finished, I'm never going to get out of here, whatever happens after that is of little consequence, because you won't make it. You're in your head, you've already failed, you've already given in, you've already succumbed to that failure, to that grim ending. When I teach martial arts, especially women's self-defense and crash course self-defense type of classes, the first thing I say to them is, hey, in your mind, when you have that scary situation, whatever your scariest situation is, what do you see happening in the end? And this is before they learn any techniques. And if they say, oh, well, I see myself getting killed or abducted or whatever, I'm like, well, then whatever I teach you isn't going to help, because you already have this self-fulfilling prophecy going on in your head. The first thing you need is just knowing that you will survive, that you will get out of this somehow. And the rest you kind of figure out and play by ear. So the first rule of 3 is you can survive 3 seconds without hope. So if you find yourself hopeless, you can go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and on 3, 1,000, you better snap out of it or you are done for. So these are my rugrats. They were homesick from school today, and that's why they're kind of in pajamas and crazy clothes. But they're my hope. That's my 3 seconds of hope right there. No matter what the situation is, no matter how scary things ever are in my head, I just know that I have to survive and I have to get home to them. And there's another one inside. She's only 1 year old and she's taking a nap right now. So you can't survive 3 seconds without. You can't survive 3 seconds without hope. All right, run along, go,
Bye-bye.
Go. So the second rule of 3 is you can survive 3 minutes without breathable air. I don't know if I can survive 3 minutes without coffee. That's why I have my coffee out here with me. So I brought my kit, which I'm not even going to bother going into. I have a few items because I'm actually revamping my kit. And I just grabbed some stuff between my car, a bin I have getting ready for some upcoming dirt time, going out in the outdoors and whatnot. So 3 minutes without oxygen or without breathable air can have a few different meanings. So from something like a N95 mask, which I'm sure we're all familiar with over the past year, to putting a bandana over your face, or even a gaiter, one of those things for keeping your neck warm, and you just pull it up over your face, or a shamag. It's like a really big cotton bandana. Those are all different ways that, my mom, she's still alive, but she was at the Twin Towers when they came down, and she, thank God, she missed her train that day. Whatever, she survived. She was running through the debris as it was kind of falling, and that huge cloud of dust. And she said, I was kind of pulling my shirt up, anything I do to keep the dust out of my mouth. It's good to always have some sort of thing, even if it's just your shirt, that you could pull up and give yourself that breathable air to keep all like the dust and debris, and anything you can do to filter whatever the bad stuff is. Heavy rain, heavy snow, blizzard conditions, just be able to like give yourself a little bit of a buffer so that you could breathe. But now it's not just breathing, it's oxygen. So if you had some sort of traumatic injury where you were bleeding a lot, your blood carries oxygen. So if you start bleeding out, that's another way that, some sort of arterial bleed, you got to kind of have some sort of plan of action and have the stuff that you need. We have another video on trauma kit and stuff like that for what's in this pack. But the idea is your 3 minutes of breathable air and or oxygen is not just about making sure that you're able to filter out any bad stuff or debris that's in the air, but having a means to stop heavy bleeding. 3 minutes. We have 3 seconds without hope. We have 3 minutes without breathable air or oxygen. And you can survive 3 hours without shelter. So now, like in really harsh conditions, like really crazy heat, really bitter cold, where you need to really maintain and regulate your core body temperature, your first layer of shelter, it's that you can survive 3 hours without shelter. And again, there are exceptions to that rule, but your first layer of shelter is going to be your clothing. So making sure that you have the right clothes with you, or layers that you could add, whether it's, sweatshirts, thermals, things like that. But when it comes to shelter, there's all different kinds of shelter. So this is it's called a Swagman. Swagman, I don't know how to pronounce it. Swagman roll, it's like a poncho, but it's like a quilted blanket type of whoopee style blanket. It could double as a blanket, sleeping bag, or poncho liner. It's a poncho to keep the rain off. This is a tarp that you could use for a lot of different purposes, but it's something as simple as a garbage bag, a contractor grade garbage bag that could be formed into some sort of cover to get under to keep you dry, bundle up in some other stuff to keep you warm, get into the plastic bag if you absolutely positively had to. Cheap Home Depot tarp. So this is a Helicontech, some new company that I really been digging their stuff. But it's a tarp there with some cordage. You could get some cordage. Tarp. This one is another tarp. It's like a regular tarp, but it's got like a what do you call it? Liner to it, like a Mylar, reflective. Put this on the ground to keep the ground from sucking the heat out of you, or put it above you. Had a fire going, reflects the heat back on you. A lot of uses for it, but you can survive up to 3 hours without shelter. So the first priority is making sure that you could breathe, and then making sure you got something to keep you dry and keep you warm so you keep your body temperature going. Now, once you have a shelter going, any type of shelter going, the next step is to get a fire going. And the fire is not so much to help keep you warm, although that's great for morale and just keeping you, it gives you light, gives you heat, gives you warmth, could heat up food if you have it, heat up yourself if you're freezing cold, gives you something to look at and like kind of calming effect on you. But you can go 3 days without water. So the next step would be to try and figure out a way to either purify, filter water so that you could drink it. So I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. So in my kit, it's funny because I have things to get fire going and things to get water going in the same section of my bag. So obviously the fire is for fire, and this is a life straw you can put into a puddle, a lake, any sort of fresh water source, and it'll filter everything out so you could drink it. Use this as a straw. I have some water purification tablets in here, and the other stuff is just to basically get a fire going so that if you could collect water, you get yourself a not insulated stainless steel container, single wall, fill this with some fresh water, get it over fire, boil it for a while, and then some sort of other container, either leave it in the air or have another container to pour that into, and then boil some more, purify some more, and keep it in here. And the rule of thumb is 1 gallon per person per day. I think you can get by on a lot less than that, but it depends on how much you're exerting yourself and how much you're sweating and stuff like that, and all sorts of stuff. But the idea is that you're going to need to find some source of water. If you don't have some water with you, or water close by, or fresh drinking water, How do you find it? How do you filter it? How do you purify it? And how do you store it or tote it around? 3 days without water. 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. So depending on how much food you have in storage on yourself will depend on how long you can go without the food. You can get by with water. Vitamins will help, but you don't even need the vitamins. But 3 weeks without food, you get to the point where you stop craving stuff and whatnot, and your body will start to eat itself. And then after a while, you're going to hit starvation mode, and that's a problem. So having food and being able to conserve it, find more of it, whether it's trapping, hunting, foraging, like looking for like edible plants and stuff like that. Having some sort of like, there's travel food, like the camping food. You have protein bars and Spam and cans of soup and beans and really shelf-stable stuff. It's good to have some of these different types of items and different types of food that you have on hand in your kit, whether it's a go bag, a camping kit, and you know, a bug-in kit, whatever it is, in the back of your car or whatever, in case you get stuck on the side of the road. But it's also good to have a fishing line and fishing hook, and you can make a stick into a rod, and you get hungry enough, you'll get creative enough. You ever seen the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks? He gets stranded on an island, and after a while he starts talking to a volleyball, and by the end of the movie, the volleyball is Wilson, and it's just like another character who I'm sure had no problem remembering his lines. But Tom Hanks, like at one point, I don't want to, no spoilers, but when he thinks he lost that ball, man, he goes crazy like he thought he lost his best friend. And the moral of the story was that he was on there so long that he was so lonely. There's a show on TV that I just got introduced to. It's on, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 seasons by now, called Alone. If you've never checked it out, man, what a great show. Great for like survival skills and bushcraft skills, and it really touches on so many different aspects of it. And one of the things that makes these contestants on the show, because the goal is to be, you're on this crazy like environment by yourself with no one, like no one. You're your own camera guy, all this stuff, and the goal is to stay out there the longest. And the last one wins like $500,000 or something. And some of the people that seem like they're doing really, really well, the thing that makes them tap out or give up in the end is that they're just going crazy and they miss their family, or they miss their friends, or they miss their home, or whatever it is. So the next rule of 3 is, they say 3 months without companionship starts to like drive you a little bit batty. And I remember going on a trip one time and checking out this prison, which has been long closed in Pennsylvania. I think it was called, oh my God, something penitentiary, whatever. The whole premise of the prison was that it was 100% total solitary confinement. Every single prisoner in the place had their own cell that opened up to like a part of a courtyard that was just them. Anytime they were transported from their cell to anywhere else, sick bay or whatever, they had to put on this whole suit that they couldn't even get any sort of facial recognition, not a smile, not a glance, not a nod, nothing. And the number one reason that these people were like dropping like flies and killing themselves and stuff like that was they were going nuts from being alone. That lack of companionship. All right, so quick review. You could last 3 seconds without hope, 3 minutes without oxygen or breathable air, or oxygen including like your blood supply, 3 hours without shelter, especially in really, really super harsh conditions, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, 3 months without companionship. And those are the rule of 3s. So if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching and preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notification button so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops and you get all sorts of cool content. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find us on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching. You give me hope. Oh, don't spill my coffee. Okay. Oh, okay.